Hi, hello. So today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the BAME project. So my job is a health outreach worker, so I support people in the community. So I'm never in the office, I'm always out and about. So
you do it slowly, your English is the worst.
Sorry. I do speak fast, I do.
Sorry, yeah.
So today I'm going to say BAME a lot, which means Black, Asian, Minority and Ethnic. So when I'm speaking about BAME, Black, Asian, Minority and Ethnic, I'm not talking about immigrants or migrants, I'm talking about maybe from a long time ago, but now are UK citizens and are resident in the United Kingdom. So when I say BAME and that community, that's what I'm talking about. So why have this community been given special funding and help? Well, statistics show that in this community, there are high levels of diabetes, obesity, and lack of physical activity. Now, the people I support are from these communities at the bottom: Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Indian, Black Caribbean, Black African, and Chinese women. Not exclusive, but these are the main ones that I work with. So why did it all come about? Well, the clinical commissioning group, that's the local national health system, they said, okay, if this is happening in that community, it has a knock-on effect on the health system. That costs them money. They don't like to spend lots of money that they don't need to spend. So they said, okay, we're going to put some initiative in place. So my project is a 2-year pilot project to go in those communities, look at health, ask questions, why you're not engaging in services that already exist. So I'm not doing anything new, I'm getting them engaging in services that already exist. And finding out why these communities don't engage. Is it culture? Is it religion? Is it confidence? To see what's going on. The Self-Help Nottingham obviously have been working with Self-Help for over 30 years, so they know that business. So the health board approached them and said, you know, they've done a mapping exercise to see what self-help groups were from BAME communities, why they were working, what gaps they were, and so that's also why this project came about, to fill those gaps. So that's how it links with self-help. So I'm going to start new groups within those communities. So, engaging with the communities, so I get the job, I start, it's a big job. How do I do this? How do I engage when people keep telling me they're hard to engage? How are you going to do this? What are your initiatives? So first of all, I put together a steering group. You know what steering group means? So on the steering group, I have 2 GPs, I have 2 nurses, I have the clinical commissioning group, the health board, I have Self-Help Nottingham and myself. So we said, how are we going to engage with the community? How are we going to get them involved rather than just saying, here's a service again, come along to it, that's not working already, that's why I'm here. So we thought we'd do some videos. We'd go into the communities, we'd ask them what their issues were and find out what they were already doing. Because self-help exists. If it's not called self-help, it doesn't mean it's not self-help. So it's already existing, so people like to tell their stories, especially in the cultural communities. If you ask them, they will talk. So that's exactly what we did. So rather than try and explain that to you, I'm going to show you a little video of how we kind of engaged a little bit. So yeah, so that was the video, so we got the groups involved, so it kind of worked well because they were doing lots of things. We got them to tell their story and share their experiences, and not just with one individual culture, but all different communities together, so that worked really well.
Is that available online though?
Yeah, you can go online, the videos, all the videos that you watched today are online, and we've got some more videos coming up, so watch out for those from Pakistani, African and different communities, so it'll be a lot of fun. So next on your desk you can see like a various amount, 3 different kind of case studies. So what we're also trying to do is put some case studies together because people like to see a story rather than hear me. So before and through the kind of different presentations, people said, let's shout about self-help, let's keep talking about self-help. So who better to talk about self-help than those people who are doing it? So their case study is a lot more interesting. So how your pathway to engage with this project and engage with self-help. So we've got a little lady here called Evelyn. She's 80 years old, super cool, she's very nice. So she's sitting at home, she's suffering from diabetes, she's suffering from depression, isolation, and she wants to engage with her community but feels very distant. Her only connection then is to her GP or to her nurse, who she probably sees once a month, once or whatever, and that maybe can be the only person she really engages with to share those experiences and what she's going through. So the nurse is busy, the GP is very busy, maybe they have 5 minutes, 10 minutes to see this person, it's not enough time. So the person can be in tears, they can be trying to pour everything out while the GP or the nurse just wants to kind of give you some medication or do whatever, or say, here's a leaflet, go to this place. It's not going to happen, they're not going to go there. So what the GP then does is call this project. Aha, it's from the BAME community, they want to engage, they want to do other things. Let's call Velma and she can take that time with this individual person and do a one-to-one assessment with them, find out what it is they want. Sometimes they don't even know what they want, they just want to be healthier and happier. What does that mean? How does that look? So then we sit down together and just take that time, we have coffee, it's relaxed, I can go to their home, they can come to us, I can meet them somewhere in the community that they know and are familiar with, so it's easier. And then at the end here we have the YMCA, I don't know if you've heard of that, big in the United Kingdom. Yeah, do the dance? And so they have a programme that's run by the City Council to do with health and physical activity. It's free if you suffer from a long-term health condition, but a lot of people don't know how to get from here, sitting at home with diabetes and depression, to there. It's a big jump for a lot of people. It may not seem for people who can do that, but for other people it's a big jump. So what are the benefits of doing that? So Evelyn now feels more confident, she's happy, you can read a bit more of her case study when you have time. The GP's happy because they have more time, they have a happier, healthier patient. Good, that's what they want. We're happy at Self-Help because we're engaging people with communities and our groups in Self-Help's growing and the word is spreading and the referrals for the health system are increasing and they're getting the right people to those things. So everybody's happy, we hope. So what I did next, I didn't stop there, we went on to do some more community work because that's where I like to be best. So we started with what I know, the Caribbean community, very vibrant, that's my culture, so we start with that. So we went around and we asked them, what are you doing? What's happening? What would you like to happen? What does self-help look like and mean to you? Because a lot of people don't know self-help, it's what they're doing, but they don't know what it means. So by doing this video and having the people from the communities explain it, this video will then be shown in hospitals, in GP surgeries. So if you're sitting waiting, you're depressed with your illness, up comes this, I know this person looks like me, maybe I can engage, maybe there is some hope to do something else. So that's where the video is kind of coming to engage the community by the community. So we'll show you one more video. One, teach one. If we can share experiences and tell people about self-help and support, then things like this will just evolve naturally with or without organisations. People will continue to do that. So thank you for listening. Any questions?
When you did this...
I got away.
I mean, did you know if it works? You know if it's rich people?
If it's reaching people, oh, the video.
How you can measure it?
Well, we're measuring it because we're holding focus groups and self-help groups have started because of these videos and because of going out in the community. So we're registering all the groups that have started within the BAME community, how many people from that community are accessing training at self-help. We've also been approached, Paige mentioned in her presentation about health professionals wanting the patient participation's opinion, so we're bringing people together for that. So because we've brought people together naturally, the groups are now forming. People say, well, I want to continue to talk about this, I want to support, I want to encourage, how do we go about that? So then obviously we step in with self-help and say, this is how we can support you to continue to do that. So groups are forming because of this, and people are engaging and wanting to engage, and little people like Evelyn, she's saying, oh, I have a friend who has diabetes, I'm going to tell her about it, or I have a friend, and then the message is being passed, and we're monitoring that by the amount of groups that have started, by the amount of focus groups, and the network events are growing and getting bigger and more people are coming. And they're doing the network events themselves, so they have their stands and they tell about their group and, you know, share that information and people sign up and join. So it's kind of spreading for that.
In the beginning you said, like, go to the Caribbean community or the Pakistani community. Where exactly do you go to in order to find the Pakistani community? I mean, which bell do you ring?
Well, that's it. So what I did at first, when I first started, was just try and engage with everybody. So I tried to contact community leaders and people that were doing things. So in Nottingham...
So who is a community leader? I mean, how do you identify a community leader?
Okay, so in Nottingham we have different centres for different communities. So there's a Pakistani centre, there's the Agnes Centre that deals with Caribbean people, there's the Indian Community Centre and things like that. So I started there with those leaders and engaged with the people and then put on events and asked people if they wanted to tell their story and kind of just got meeting people through that.
So these communities are in some way organised already. You have one place to go to.
There is for some of them, and then you have like in faith and religion, you have like the Muslim Women's Centre, or you'll have different kind of religious organisations that I also attended and got to the community through those ways. So we didn't make it about religion, we didn't make it about the different things, but those things mattered to the people when they were starting the group or engaging with services. So for the Asian women, for example, they wanted to talk about diabetes, they wanted to exercise and do all of those things, but they couldn't join certain things for religious purposes. So if it was men there and they needed women-only sessions, or they needed, you know, kind of different cultural reasons, so it was just adapting things and reassuring them that it was okay, and to chaperone them to things and things like that. So sometimes it's the very smaller things that stop people from engaging, but it makes such a big difference when they feel comfortable with somebody.
Being the responsible for 12 years doing HIV prevention amongst the migrants population in Switzerland in my town, this is the work I did for many years as well, and I really love it. But what we did, we also went to find the key person, and sometimes it was just not possible for some communities. So we really went to the streets, we went to the parks, where all the Muslim mothers were sitting together without the husband because he was working or what, and we did the spreading the HIV prevention in the park, or we went to the swimming pool and whatever. Not only, this is one place to go to the community meetings, but really going out and even going to sit with the men in the cafenion. But what I was wondering a little bit, do you do this all by yourself, or do you have like other outreach workers from those communities, like a Pakistani man or an African lady, or?
So the project is basically me. I sit within Self-Help Nottingham, but clearly I can't do all of that work, it's impossible. So that's why I'm asking the community, so I kind of turn it on its head. Here am I, your health outreach worker, how do you want to use me? How can I engage with what you're already doing, and how can I support that to grow, and how can I help you to access and change services, for example, for diabetes? I can get you together with the clinical commissioning group and bridge those gaps, if you like. So you have the community, you have the health professionals, and I'm the bridge to kind of support that. So I help them to help themselves, which is self-help.
Yeah, but you do it all by yourself, because you speak English and all the people you're going to reach, they speak English.
Not all of them don't speak English, so I have funding for translation, and I have the community leaders and things like that will help me translate and bring some people together, and then I engage with the group, and obviously I have the staff at Self-Help who also engage and support me as we're going out to do the self-help side of it, and I do the kind of health side of it, so it kind of is a happy marriage.
Last question.
Last question. Thank you. It's interesting. In Greece, we have this kind of problem. The participation of immigrants in the addiction treatment programs is only 2.5%. Of course, the problem of alcohol consumption and drugs consumption in these communities is bigger. So the state and our services haven't done a lot yet to reach these people. And this is the first time with an EU budget that they used multinational mediators in order to reach the communities. But it's funny because this program, it will be last only for 2 months. And we are going to have at the self-help promotion program of Thessaloniki mediators at the language of Russian and Arabian, I don't know the exact language that will be used. Yes? But it will be only for 2 months, and we are confused about how we are going to reach these people in the proper way and to make things last. Of course, in the field of self-help, there are not at all self-help groups regarding addiction, just a few alcohol groups at islands during the summer. People that came and live in 2 or 3 islands, and they organize a group during summertime regarding alcohol.
So we have a group from the Muslim community, from that community, that has started like a 12-step program, but it's in regards to Islam, and they do it through that. And then through that project, they've applied for their own funding because they're doing something good, and so now they've been given funding, and we just support that. So in England, it's a bit easier because once we've started a group or formed a group and made them constituted, then they can apply for other funding themselves. Now, because they are the person and they're dealing with the thing, they are more likely to get that funding to support them and to continue that because they're making a difference in their community. So that's one way we got around it in England.
One of the problems we have, and I'm sure everywhere, is that a lot of projects for migrants or BME communities are always short-term funded. And so the other thing we're dealing with is that communities are very cynical about any projects, and they're not stupid. You know, if they're having 2 months, they're not going to enter into that. So as Velma said, one of the solutions is you have to make them self-sustainable very quickly, but we have a lot of cynicism because it's true. Many projects start and then 2 years, 1 year. Yeah.
Thank you.